Hey, how you doing? All right, let's do it to it. All right. Let's make sure everything's good. Okay, we got everybody on. Okay, good. All right. We're gonna go over a game: Christina Yip versus Tatev. She played the French defense in this line, and so we're gonna go over it. Okay, come on. E4, E6, F, D5, E5. 1 second. Hold on. I'll be right back. Just give me a second. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. Allergies. I had to blow my nose. I apologize about that. So I had to go get a Kleenex. I didn't mean to. So it's allergy season, so yeah. This took a second. Thank you for all your patience on that. And so everything's good now. Alright. C5, knight F3, knight C6. Now it's time for some chess cruncherisms and chess cruncher learning. C3, H, knight A3, knight F5, knight C2. A lot I've actually seen at this point here with this right here. Some players will actually, after this, play like that. It's kind of, I know, a little different, but they'll actually play here, and then after the knight comes in, they'll come here, they'll take, and I believe it, let me see here, I believe it transposes into a whole different type of opening, which is the advanced variation of the French. So it's different. It could have went that way, but it didn't. It went more kind of an offside line of the French defense. I think if Christina would have put a done that line, I think she might have fared a little better. But sometimes they try to set up novelties and they don't end up working out very well. So sometimes the best thing to do is to find some obscure lines that work and that have some good playability and that work for you, and stick with it, and then master those openings, and you'll find a better play. And don't try to force an opening that you're not good at. Queen E2, H5. Tatev knows Harry. He's our hero. He's going up that board to open the king's position. Yeah. Bishop E4, Bishop D7. And then Queen D3. She's trying to basically potentially castle. I don't know if she wants to castle, Christina, because what would happen is she might get attacked. She's better be careful. She might want to play B3 fianchetto and get castled, because she doesn't want to get swarmed. Queen B6, B3. There we go. Now we're talking. All right. Oh, loving that. That's a beauty move by Tatev. She can't take because of hello. Welcome to my comp. So queen takes. Knight takes. That was a sweet tactic. Because if takes, then you have bishop there, and the queen is actually trapped. There's really no spot for you to go to. Hello, welcome. So knight takes. She's oh yeah, this is the part where Christina turns Christina turns transposes the queen for 3 minor pieces. It would work, but for one thing, her pieces are uncoordinated, and they don't have any really unity. So she does get 3 pieces for, but these pieces just aren't working together that well. And then B5, and Tatev just keeps pushing the knight back, keeps pushing and pushing. E, king D1, D takes C, bishop takes, and B4, bishop B2, queen takes. So now she is acquired, Tatev's acquired 6 pawns, So she's actually only 8 pawns down, so she's up a pawn, 1 pawn up. Knight c4. King moves. See, if she'd actually traded here, queen takes, she potentially could play. You just got to be careful with that setup. So it's a pain in the drain, kind of. Yeah. So she has I gotta say, Christina Yip actually did pretty good for the amount of pressure that she was put under by Tatev. She's holding pretty well. She's trying to get her king here and potentially push up here, get the king here and push up here and try to get the king pocketed to safety. Castles. Oh, wow. That's an interesting thing too. I guess you could potentially play knight b4. That would end up working too. King a1. Rook b8. Knight b4. a6. Queen g5. You take. Knight b5. g4, and then rook f. And at this point, I don't think there's a way to actually hold. I think it's basically done. Because if she tries taking here, she actually gets a fork, and this rook can't take because of it's pinned by the queen. So she can't come here to stop that. So not fun. And if she tries that, she potentially has queen here. Bam. Kabam. So let's see, what else can we try? We could try something like this, then rook here. It still drops a piece. I'm trying to think, is there any way to save this position? I really don't see anything. I think the position's lost. Totally lost. I don't really see anything. Are we ready? Alright, let's give her a go. So we're doing our tactics right now. So the team's got to be ready. All right. Let me see. wondering if it's not queening. Let's see here. G8 equals queen. A1 equals queen. Knight E3, check. King let me see. King F2. Queen G2, check. King E1. Queen G1, check. King D2. Queen takes A1. I'm not sure if that's it. I'm not sure if that's it. I know that. Oh, knight. Okay, so knight that first. Okay. I gotta think here. Okay, if okay now we have to try to do some calculation here. If G8 equals queen, A1 equals queen. Let's see, queen G2, check. King D3, queen E4, 4 check. King E2. Maybe we have king F3, check. Knight C2. C2. Let's check out knight C2. Okay, knight C2, bishop takes C2. G8 equals queen. A1 equals equals queen. I'm just thinking here. Hold on, just give me a second. Knight E2 takes. Okay. Okay, so we know that this is the correct move, so we'll take that. Oh boy. Okay. Trying to, because that does draw away the king, which corners him. I just have to be able to see the next few couple moves. Let me see. Okay, check. Let's see. If we queen, he queens. We go queen G2. Check. King. We'll say D3, because he can't go D1. Queen D3. Let's see, how can we do some checks here? Hold on. Okay. Queen E. Queen F3, check. He can't go, well, I guess he could king d4, but you'd have to be careful of queen e3 check. Yeah, I know we could. I know we promote the. I know we promote the queen. I understand that. It's just where do we check? Cause I want to somehow skewer along this route here. I want to skewer along the A1 to H8 diagonal. And I'm trying to figure out how to get the king there without having any chaotic problems. Trying to see, do we have a way via G2? Queen G2, King D3. Yeah, I'm thinking that's right. King D3. Maybe Queen F2. Let me see here. G2 is right because we have to draw him in. Now we have to figure. Do you have Queen E4? Does that draw him down, or do we want to draw up? Let me see here. Let's see, Queen G3 maybe, and then if he goes King C3, we have Queen G7, which skewers the king and the queen. Let me see, Queen G3, King D2, Queen E3. Then the king would actually have to go down, and then Queen G1 check. Yeah, Queen E4. Okay, so we were on the right track. Okay, there. Okay, so we push him down. Oh, that's the move. Then we play Queen E3 at this point. King. Hey, how you doing? Okay, let's see here. Queen E3, King C1. Ah, snap. We have to somehow get a skewer here. I'm trying to figure out how to win the queen. Yeah, I know Queen E3 is right. Oh wow, that was that's whoa. Yeah, I guess that is because that does. Oh, that's how it does. Yay, we did it right. Hooray! 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 Yay! For some reason I thought the king could go to C1, but then I realized that we covered C1. He had to go to D1, and then we came to G1, and we skewered the queen. I was trying somehow to get him to D4, and then somehow skewer along the A1 to H8 diagonal, but in reality the skewer was along the first rank. I had to be on the lookout for that. That's an interesting one for sure. Very, very interesting. We had the right idea. It was a skewer, but not diagonally. It was on the rank. So we're thinking good. So that's good. Alrighty. Let's see here. If we play E7. Let me see, E7. I'm looking to see if there is anything wrong. Yeah, E7, there is nothing wrong with E7. I'm just trying to see, is there any mate that he potentially could do? Let me see. If we queen, does he have bishop E3, knight G3? I don't think he has enough compensation. Even if even if when we queen, if he plays knight g3, we have king g1. If we play bishop e3, king f1. Do we have any more checks after that though? Huh. I'm trying to figure this out. Hold on. Let's see. E8 equals queen. Knight g3 check. King to g1. Well, I guess he can't do that. Knight g4. Oh, that would be mate, wouldn't it? Wow. Oh man, if we queened, holy ravioli, we'd be toasted. Wow, I didn't realize that. Queen f2 check. King g1. Huh. I don't know. Let's see here. Knight g4. Okay, we had another one that came in knight g4, so let's take a look at, okay, knight g4. If king takes g4, then we can actually go e8 equals queen, and then when he tries knight f2, we have king g2, king g2, and it's not mate at that point. That makes sense. We have to pull the king away, and then what we can do is queen. We have space to move at that point, and then we got him. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Whoa. Wow, he's abandoning everything. That doesn't seem right. Why would he do that? Huh. I thought for sure he'd try to go for mate somehow in there. Or at least take the knight, but huh. Let's see here. The knight's trying to stop our d8 from queening, so we have to maybe do we play knight f? We have some checks. Knight f2 is a playable idea, which then it would go. Oh, that's it. My bad there. Yeah, knight f2, knight f2 check, king h4, and then e8 equals queen check, discover check. Oh wow, he moved there. That ruined our idea tremendously. I hate when they ruin our ideas like that. That's not fun. Not fun, not fun. But I think we're okay with playing knight e4 check, because then the knight would take on e4, and then we can go e8 equals queen at that point. I think we can draw the knight away. It's kind of removing the guard of e8, which allows us to queen. I believe that's it. Yeah, that makes sense, and then we can actually queen here. Okay, I want to check that out real quick. That was a pretty complicated setup. I want to see the mate. What were we missing about queening? Because those type of endgames do arise in your games, and it's how you handle the endgames. let's see here. Knight takes. We played e4. Let's say we come on. Let's say we queen. What's the mating idea? Plays there. Say we queen. What's the mate? If there is a mate, let me see. Oh, g3. Okay, g3, king g1. Queen takes. Okay. Oh, it's a stalemate. Stalemate. Does it matter if it's a rook, though? I don't think it matters even if it's a rook. Oops, hold on. What am I missing here? Okay, knight g2. Here, there. It's because of this, that, and the king guards here, and this is a pin. So we had to actually, before we do anything, we actually have to draw the king away. When the king, if the king did take, we could actually queen, and there's no mating ideas anymore. No, I mean stalemate. Sorry, not mating. Stalemate. Okay. And now this is an interesting one I saw. Right here, this actually wins on the spot with a discovered check, because he can't take because of this here and this. So he's basically going to have to go to g3, queen e2, queen e2, bishop h6 to hold. Then we have queen. That's not mate. Sorry, a little too ahead of myself. I forgot this is hanging, so we have to be very gentle with our knight. So that's covered. That's covered. That's covered. Oops. This is covered. That's covered. That's covered. So he really has only. Well, that's covered. So he's got one spot to go to. Come on. There we go. He's got that spot to go to. So only move. Well, I guess he could do bishop g5 because it's not check. It's not check. So bishop g5 and bishop takes. If knight e3, then we have a classic checkmate g2. Okay. Wow, who'd have thunk that was stalemate? That was the whole basis idea of knight g4 was actually to avoid stalemate. That was interesting. That's why I like going over those puzzles. If we ever have questions, or if you have a question on one, just put in there and we'll go over them, because you're gonna encounter those type of positions. And I had a game where my opponent, if I would have taken the rook with my rook, it would have ended up being a stalemate. So I had to actually pass the move, and then my opponent walked into winning of I won that rook, but I had to do it in like about 7 moves. Sorry, about 7 moves down the road. But the take looked so tempting, and I was like, but I had to realize if I took, stalemate would have arisen. And that's something you have to be on the lookout for, especially when you deal with like rook and king, queen and king, queen bishop, knight and queen, those type of things. That you don't stalemate the king, because you would be working for several hours and all of a sudden you'll lose it because of a stalemate. That'd be a tragedy. Let me see here. So the bishop covers d1, so we really can't move that bishop off that diagonal. Huh. Well, we can actually potentially queen here. Yeah, if we promote, he has promoting would, I think he's got check. Let's see if we can avoid. See, he has check on b4. So let's see if we can promote and get out of check. So f8 equals queen. Rook b4 check. King d5. Rook b5 check, and then would king d6 be okay? See, we don't want to leave the d6 file. This bishop right here is covering d1, so we actually want to walk our king up the board along this file. So we can actually queen and we don't have to. Oh wow, he took. Holy ravioli. Wow, that was shocking. I thought he would check and then take. Wow, wow, wow. That was a shell shock from Ninja Turtles there, the movie. Now, let's see here. We don't want to move our bishop because we want to cover d1. So, and oh, our queen covers b4. Hooray! Yay, 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 yay. Happy day. So we're covering d1 and b4. So no checks for black here. I'm wondering if we can potentially either play bishop. Oops, hold on. I gotta put my thing in there. I don't want to touch anything. Queen f. Oh wow, does that pick up a piece? Does queen f7? See, queen f7. Queen f7 check is an interesting idea. I see that a lot of our viewers are at Chess Cruncher team is putting in f7 check. So let's see. I may be missing something, so it's always good to be on the lookout for that. Okay, so f7 check. Let me see. Where can the king go? He has b6. Queen b8. If he goes king d6, we have bishop e6 check. Then he starts going down the board. So queen f6 is the first move. I know that works. We just have to. Oh wow, he intercepts. Oh, that's another shell shock. I didn't think he was going to do that because that actually puts his rook. His rook was being protected here. It was also protecting the a2 pawn. So potentially now queen takes a2 check is playable. That is an interesting change of scenery for sure in that scenario. Let's see, queen takes a2. If king b6, queen b2, and then it goes back to a7, we pick up the rook on c2. Yeah, this picks up material here, this move. This actually picks up material. Well, I'll show you how it does. These higher rated ones are oops, there we go. So we queen here, he takes there. When he came up here, we check. If he comes there, we actually come here. If he comes back, we snap off that rook. So if king d8, or sorry, king b8. Let's see here. I had the idea. I just got to remember it. Just give me 1 second. Okay, there was something to do with a check here after there. I was trying to figure out. Was there a bishop? I had something that forked here. This rook. Let me see. What am I missing? Okay, if we come here, king a2 or a7, bishop f. So bishop f3 attacks this rook. But can he go here? So queen f8. Okay, that's the move. Yeah, that's it right here. It covers this right there. Rook bc1. Yeah. Huh. Queen c5 now is a very strong move. We're almost mating our opponent. And then if a8, we have bishop to wait a second. It's saying yeah, so we were right. This is a right idea because it pins the rook. Yeah. And if king b8, you can actually at this point just pick up the. Oh, wait a second. I think I missed something. f8 actually, I think, wins material too. This actually wins material. If he comes back here, I'm thinking now, can we play queen e2 or queen a2? Check. If king comes back. Okay, how do we? Let's see. At this point, bishop d6 is a. Is this? Are we just repeating at this point? I think we can actually take here, and if bishop takes, I think we're winning with our endgame of e5 here. And yes, he's got some checks, but we can actually come via down here, up here, and then take this pawn. And then we have this pawn that could be a decoy up the board. All right. Okay, so you have to set up the correct forks. That makes sense. These are really interesting. I actually like these higher rated ones because they, yeah, exactly, and it's based on winning the pawn over in the corner. And you might even be able to sacrifice your queen for the rook. Surprisingly, I know that sounds kind of different, but you could actually do that and then walk that pawn up the board after you win his other pawn and win with a king and queen, which is a pretty straightforward mate. Even a rook and king is a straightforward mate. So, but you're really going to get rook and you're going to get more rook and king mates. So if I was going to be studying an endgame, I'd probably go more into the rook. But you always have to remember pawn structures are important in endgames too. Let me see here. Pardon me. Excuse me. I'm looking. Let me see if we played. I think we have to take with the knight here. I think knight takes b6 is forced because he wants to play knight d6 check. He wants to actually play knight. We have to play bishop knight takes b6. He's going to play knight takes. Well, he might win our. No, he can't win the bishop after that because then the rook would come over and take. Like something like this: knight takes b6, knight d6, check. king C. Let me see. How do we want to do this? Is that actually a mate? Well, I think we're still okay. I think if king c7, rook. No, he can't. He can't play rook a7 because our rook would take his rook at that point. He might try rook. Rook takes a8. Knight takes a8. And then knight takes c8. Rook takes c8. And are we down material in that line? Huh. So rook takes c1. Okay, to remove. Okay, that removes the guard. And oh, that's interesting. Didn't even think about that. We could actually counter strike. Yeah, I think like what you're saying, 360, that the queen could actually take. I think I was being a little too optimistic with the knight check. We got to bring. He's going to bring his queen in first. So if we play rook takes a1, rook takes a1, then we can actually play knight, king takes b6, I think. Oops, sorry, I did the c instead of takes. That's funny. The king can't move like a knight. I'd love it to, but it can't do that yet. So let's start the first take. And the knight covers c5, so we can actually go king takes b6. And then we really don't have any more checks. Trying to see, can we actually trade queens off and then well, rook h3. That's what I was either looking at queen f3 or rook h3, because we don't really have to win the pawn right away. We can actually use that pawn as a shield or a shelter for our king. The bishop covers the knight, so the queen's almost trapped. Do we have a type of setup with rook h3? At that point, the queen would have to go to d2. Queen f3 check. King e1, or let's say f1. F1. Oh, and then rook h1. H1 is actually mate in that line. Okay, so that's right. We were going down the right road. So I was looking at the queen, but I forgot we have another warrior that could come in. The king guards the bishop on c8, so we really don't have to worry much about that. Now we can play queen f3, and he's gonna now have to move back. And oh, he does have bishop, so I was a little wrong on that. Rook h1 check, and then bishop f1. I'm thinking that after bishop f1 we have queen takes e4 check. Yeah, I'm thinking that's, there we go. So there. Oh, it didn't allow us to continue. Drat. I want to see that. I want to see that continuation. So bishop f1 forced. Is it queen takes? Oops. Queen takes e. Okay, then queen here. Rook takes there. King takes. Oh, it's mate. Okay, that leads to mate. So after the queen intercepts. And if we go king there, we can actually pick up. Rook takes. Let's see here. Queen e1. Rook takes. We don't want to take with the queen. We want to take with the rook. It comes up here. I think we have queen check here. If king there, we have mate here. So that's mate. If king there, we have potential mate 2. Okay. Okay, now it's getting hot and heavy in our battle positions. Oh boy, I'd love to take f takes e3, but bishop takes, and then king f1, and then queen 2. Surprisingly, queen f3, and then queen f2, and it leads to mate. We can't take the knight because it's mate, I believe, 4 for black. So we need to try something a little different. Can't take with the rook. Let's see. Maybe we have we can play a4 check. We don't have enough time to queen, so, or do we have enough time to queen? Let me see. There is queen a3, but our queen a5, and then rook c7. Would that bring us any bounty? Let's see. I'm looking for here. So a4 is okay. So we're going down the right road. It's something to do with the queen. So queen a4. Let's take a look at that. Queen a4 check, because you got to look at the most forcing moves first. Checks, captures, and then like forks are usually and pins are usually the next ones in the line. So a4 is our actually there's two checks. There would be queen a4 or rook c2, c7, and of course rook c7 loses a rook. So we're going to go with the one that even in the checks that's the most forcing. So queen a4, king. Let's see, king e7. Let me see, rook c7 check, king f6, queen to, no, that wouldn't work. How do we not avoid letting him run? Looking. Let me see here. Queen a4 check, king e7. Excuse me. Because I know queen e4 is right to begin with. That's good to begin with. King e7. Yeah. Let me see here. If we don't check, we won't get our rook to the fray. But if we check, we lose out on a lot of stuff. Boy, this is a tough one now. Can we actually now play rook takes knight, and bishop takes? I'm not liking that. Oh, that's how. Oh, drat! I should realize, guys. This move right here, it actually wins. Why didn't I think of that? This actually wins a rook. I mean, the knight. For it wins a bishop and a knight here. Queen a3 check. I was looking at forcing mate. This actually wins when king goes to f6, right? Rook takes e3. Bishop takes e3. Queen takes e3, and queen takes e3, e takes not e, f takes e3. I'll show you. Sometimes I wish they would continue the lines. Sometimes I'm glad that they don't, but in that scenario it'd be very beneficial. Okay, check. Here. Check. Here. Rook take. Oh, f takes. Oops, sorry. I guess we can win via. That's a better way. I was thinking rook takes, and I don't think we get as much of a rook a8, and then rook a1. And now we have potential more mobility with this outside passer. But actually, it was a better idea was pawn takes, because that's protected twice. And now the bishop actually has to move. And if the bishop comes back, now we actually have a potential. Now c7 is with threat of queen to e7 check. If he comes in here, we can actually potentially come here, cause a lot of hectic in the position, and actually mate, potential mate. Pretty good, pretty good there. Oh boy. Okay, so so potentially here, let's see, do we have enough time to queen our b5 pawn? We have enough time to queen our b5 pawn. I'm looking to see, let's see, king c7, knight e5, b5, b6. Let me see. Actually, he doesn't have enough time, because when we go to c7, king c7, if he tries knight e5, it takes him another 4 moves to get there, and we only need 3 moves to go up the board. King a8. Well, that only takes him 2 moves to go up the board. So if we played king a8, he could play knight e5, and after we play b6, he can play knight to c6, and then he's stopping our pawn from queening. But If we go king c7, let me see. I guess it is two moves either way, because you can go knight knight f6. We go up, and then he has knight d5 check. And if we played our king to c6, does he have any checks after that? Yeah, he's got knight b4. Maybe we can just move our king up the board. Let's see how many moves. If we played king b8 or b7, king b7, how many checks would it take for him to actually check us? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So 3 moves. It'd take him 3 moves to check us. He'd have to, if we went b7, he'd have to go knight e5 to d7 to c5, r to d3 to c5. So he would have to either go e5, d3, knight c5 check, which potentially would give us time. So I'm wondering if it's not king b7 in that line, because it takes him 3 turns to get him to check us. So we would have enough time maybe if king b7, let's say we'll try it via knight e3, b6, knight d5, or it's not knight d5. Do we want knight d5? Hold on, let me see. I want to make sure I'm checking right. Okay, knight knight c5. No, it's not c5. Knight c4. Knight c4. King c7. Could with that, and then we actually stop him at that point. Oops. Sorry, king c7. I need to put king c7 in there. And I believe we actually can queen at that moment. No, that may win the pawn. I'm trying to figure out which route to go to. Let's see, king b7, knight f6, b6, king d. Oh wow, king d5, and I think he can actually win the pawn. So that's not going to turn out for our betterment. Maybe we can go king c5. King c5. No, that'd be mate 2. That'd be check, and 2 it is still win after we push. King c6. Let me see. Knight e. That'd be a check in 1. King c7. Let's see. There. So that'll be 2. Boy, this is a tough one. I'm trying to figure out how do we do that. Let's see. A5. So king c7. Okay, so but oh, he goes in that way in there. Okay. Let's see then. Potentially we would have to king c7, knight c4. I'm thinking if we go king, not king c7, sorry, king c6, would knight c4 be playable? I think we can go king c5 at that point. King c5. Well, this is a tough one because you got to be really, really careful, because he's threatening to play knight d5 check to pick up our pawn if we push it. That is interesting. The theory of two weaknesses will prevail. I see what it is. If we can get our king over to protect the f pawn, we can actually use the pawn on b5 as a decoy to lock the knight down, and then we can walk up our f6 pawn. So we can actually, in theory, play potentially king, let me see, not d6, we don't want to do that. King c6, knight c4, king d5, knight a5, king e6, and then once we made it to e6, we can push the pawn. We can actually push our pawn at that point, and I'm thinking maybe d7 could work too. Yeah, that may work as well. Yeah, king d7 may work as well. Knight d5, and then king to e6. That'd work too. That'd actually work as well. And then we would be escorting our pawn up the board, f6, f7, queen. Now we have to calculate d7 if king takes f5 because he knows what we're doing. b6, knight c, knight to c4, b7, knight a5, too late, b8 equals queen, and we get a queen. Yes, he can't stop us. We cover the c6 square, which is a vital point on the board. I think it's right. Are we all in agreement on king to d7? We have economy. We have 360. Is everybody all in on king d7? Are we all in on king d7? You can just put a yes or no. So 1 yes. Okay. There we go. Okay, so he went king d5. Oops, we can't go. I was looking at wrong. King e6 is wrong because knight c7 picks up the pawn. So we do have to go d6. Yeah, d6 is the only move that will push the knight back. Because if he goes, yep, d6 is the only move. King knight b6. Do we almost have him trapped? Can we actually go after the knight? Let's see. How do we work this now? We have to go after the knight. Okay, king e5. Doesn't king e5 allow... Couldn't we go king e6 now? King e6, king e5 allows knight c4. So king e6 has to be the move here. King e6 does. Yeah, e5 would allow either knight c4 check or knight d7, which would be a headache for us. Oh, congrats! Yeah, congrats on that. We found the proper plan of going up the board. Nice work. Okay. Let's see here. We have to now strategize our kind of a plan that we have to look at. Yeah, theory of two weaknesses. Jeremy Stillman talked about that. So it must have to do with something to do with a potential fork. Let me see. I'm now considering trying to see if we don't play rook takes e1, queen takes, or if knight takes, then we have queen. No, we can't do that because then the knight would cover e3. I was thinking rook takes e1, then knight takes e1, and the bishop is covered, so we can't do that. Maybe rook takes f3. That might work. Let's see here. Rook takes f3. If queen takes f3, rook takes e1, knight takes a1. Okay, knight takes e1, queen takes f3, knight takes f3, and then potentially bishop takes f2. Is that something? No, maybe we would have to play rook takes e. No, we already played rook takes e1. See, rook takes f3, queen takes f3, rook takes e1, knight takes e1, queen takes, knight takes, bishop takes, and f2. I don't know if we win anything though. So rook takes that. I'm just trying to put the right move orders in. Let's see. Rook takes f3, check. Queen takes f3. Rook takes f1. Knight takes f1. Ooh, there is a ooh, we have a fork. We win the queen, I believe. Oh, knight. Oh, duh. I missed this combination. Hold on. This is silly of me. Rook takes, knight takes. Not queen takes. Silly me. It's actually a knight to e5. Check. Knight e5 check. King takes d4. And then knight takes f3. We actually win the queen. Do we agree on? Do we all agree that rook takes f3 is the line, and queen takes f3, rook takes f1, knight takes. So rook basically would have to take at that point. So let's calculate in if if knight doesn't take. We now have to look at if rook takes. Rook takes e1. Queen takes e1. Knight e4. Sorry, knight takes e1. Knight e5. Check. King takes d4. Do we actually lose all of our material at that point? I'm not liking that now. And knight takes f3. Knight takes f3. And I think we're down all of our material. That's my other continuation. Rook takes e1. Queen takes e1. And then queen takes e1. Rook takes e1. Rook takes f3. Check. And we basically are up a piece in that. Well, maybe we're up a piece because the bishop, I guess, could be taken by the king. Maybe I'm missing something even there. What am I missing even there? I know this rook takes f1, and then knight takes. Oh wow. Whoa. I thought for sure a queen would take and that he'd be able to hold. Wow, wow, wow. Well, maybe because rook takes f, and then after the king takes our bishop, the queen would take g2. I think that's what the computer was afraid of, that we would actually win a bishop and a knight for just a bishop. We'd be up material. We'd have a queen knight bishop. I mean queen and rook and queen rook knight, and he'd only have a queen and knight, queen and rook. So bishop takes f2. That holds. That does hold. I guess that'd be the only way that potentially we could hold, because that saves our other piece, attacks the pin piece on e1. So if the knight tries to go back via, actually the knight can't go back, because if it does, we can actually play, let's say bishop f2, knight c2, queen takes e3, queen takes e3, rook takes e3. Well, could the king actually fork on e2 though? Boy, I'm trying to calculate all this in my head. It's like, I know that rook takes f2 works, but it's trying to see. Oh, he moves his king. Oh, wow. Did not consider that. That's different for sure. Let's see. Do we actually win material with queen takes e1? Queen takes e1, bishop takes e1, rook takes e1, and then we play rook takes f3. Does this actually win material here? Let me put it in. Queen takes e1, queen takes e1, bishop takes e1, rook takes e1, and then rook takes f3. Does that? I think that wins material, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I was calculating in my mind. Yep, I think that picks up material. And there we go. There we go. That picks up material. Yeah. Sorry if I was talking too fast. I was trying to verbalize what I was thinking when I try to go as fast as I think, and sometimes it does it. And I may have said something that wasn't. It came out of my mouth different than what I was thinking in my brain. So I'm trying to think and calculate really fast. Because you got to be like that when you're at the board. You have to be thinking in your mind that fast. That's how you get better. You're laying down myelin or connective neuron things that actually allow you to think even faster if you go faster. But you have to make sure that you're going fast and learning, because you don't want to go fast and constantly make mistakes. Oh wow, that is interesting. Rook c1. Rook c1. But bishop e5 is a playable idea too. Bishop takes e5 is playable. But I don't know how resourceful it would be. Bishop takes e5. Bishop takes e5. Rook takes b6. Queen takes b6. And then do we have queen e8? e8. Check. Oh, what happened? Queen e8. Check. King g2. And then queen takes e5. I'm not sure if that'll work. Okay, so queen takes e5. Oh wow, I didn't spot. You're right. That would be bad. So queen takes e5, and then queen a8 check would cause us a problem. Oh, snap, that's not good. Maybe we could play e4, then rook takes b1. Ugh. That's not looking too healthy for our position. Not healthy at all. We may be able to play rook a1, rook takes a1. No, sorry, rook takes b1, not b1, b2. That's funny. Takes b2, and then rook a7. That might be an idea. Rook c1. Rook c1. Rook c1. Rook a8. Oops. Queen e8. Check. Oh, that would be then. Oh, that it would be then. E4 could be played, and if rook took on b2, then we have rook c8 check, and we pick up the queen. Sweet. That's a beauty line. Nice, nice, nice. I'm liking that line. That's sweet. There we go. Loving that. That was a great find there, Chest, or 360. That was a good find. Good find, everybody. Good job. Nice work. That was not an easy one to spot. Boy, I wish we had a rook on d3. That'd be very pleasant of a setup for us. Well, maybe we could play rook d3. Maybe rook d3 might be a playable idea. Rook d3, even if queen takes h3, we do have rook takes d5, and then we can set up for a mate. So I'm wondering if that doesn't win something. It also covers d1 too. So g4. Okay. I'm trying to see. I don't know if g4. I think g4. The only reason I'm not really looking at it, maybe I'm missing something. If you have a line, that'd be great. But I just feel like it exposes our king too much. And I've kind of learned from the past that you need to maybe keep it as the simplest as you can be, because we've calculated long lines and our calculation was actually wrong. Because it wasn't that it was wrong. I shouldn't say that. It was a longer mate. That's what I should say. It wasn't what the engine wanted. It led to mate, but it was like a mate in 4 instead of a mate in 2. And we got a red mark on that because it was a mate in 2 instead of a mate in 4. And I like the mate in 4. It looked more beautiful, but we want to be as straightforward to our tactical plans as we can. So, but I gotta say, I did consider g4, but I'm not sure if it has enough threat to it. I'm just trying to see. I think you can actually play potentially. So d4, queen e6, queen e6. Oh, interesting. c6, queen e6. Oh, interesting. Actually, queen e6 I think loses. Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking that queen c6 is the... See, rook d3, let me see. Brought up a good point. Queen to c6 is probably the move that covers that. Because then if we play queen... Maybe it is rook g... Hold on, maybe I may be over speaking. It might be g4. Hold on. Let me check some. Okay, queen c6. I mean bishop c6. If queen takes f8 check, then we have rook d8. But then bishop could go to e8 at that point, huh? Yeah. This is a problem here. Oh, interesting. Nice work out there. That was good. Nice. So it does work. Sweet. I was forcing. I was trying to force mate, but that is an interesting idea there. Huh. So even if he tries bishop c6, we can play rook e8 or rook d8. And he can't get his queen involved to d5 because the knight covers d5. He can't go to d1 to support. Yeah. Yeah, that works really good. Oh, hold on. Did I miss some? Nope, it's not there. Okay. What did I miss here? Was it? Oh, was it Rook D6? Okay, Rook D6. Ah, now it works. Snap, 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 snap. Drat! I needed to attack the piece. Drat! I forced it. Ah, that's not good. We were so close. This, I believe, leads to a mate because, oh snap! I forgot to calculate in Queen H6. It is mate. Queen H6 protects the rook. Darn it! I didn't see that the protection square right there. This is the reason it doesn't work. That's why we have to actually come in and attack here. He can't come here. Can't come there. Can't come there. Only move is here, and then now the queen doesn't have enough time to get to h6. And then we can set up our this most standard mate. Oh, you wanted to see about you wanted to see about this here. Okay. Rook d8 now works. And if queen here, we play rook takes, and after rook takes, queen intercepts, queen takes, and king takes. And now we can actually hold our pawn and then get our king involved. And up the board we go, and we can use our Yep, it's a piece winning. Okay, I'll be right back. Calculate this out. Do your best. I'll be right back. Okay. Let's see here. What do we have? Queen looks trapped. Let's see here. Queen e2. Rook f, rook dh1, and then rook f1. Oh, I used it for both. Yeah, it's my yeah, it's all that. It's really fun. Let's see, Queen e2. Let's see, Queen takes g6, check. H takes g6, and then rook dh1. Do we have it? Do we have enough after that? Enough compensation? That's one thing we have to consider because we are now open to the world. We basically have to. Yeah, it is. That is the right move, but I'm just wondering if. Oh, so he retreats back. Oh, wow. I did not consider that. I thought he was going to play Queen takes g6 and then try to get some checks. So then rook basically rook f8 would be the next move that we would play, and then he'd play rook rook h e. Oh, wait a second. Then we could check, and we got him. So got it. Yeah, it's yep. And then rook takes c2 check. Yep, that's the move. Rook f8. Ooh, okay, nice. Let's see here. Yeah, exactly. We got her. Okay, now we should take the. And then even if he traps it, we win this pawn on f3. We can actually take it and win this pawn on f3. If he brings his rook over, we win f3. We're good to go. Happy days, because his bishop covers e8. So we're good. We're happy, very happy. Let's see here. This now is a calculation. Do we have enough time to get our king to win this pawn and then push? That's what we have to figure now. King d3, king a1. Oh wow, you're right. That does work, doesn't it? Oh, you're right. Oh, I can't believe I didn't see that. Yeah, that's it. Bishop a1. That's nice. Great work. And if king takes a1, we play king c1, and then he plays b5. b5. We go c6, b4, c7, b3, c8 equals sorry, c8 equals queen. So maybe we are missing something. But I'm thinking that b2 check ruins everything though. Let's see. Bishop e1, king takes a1, c1. So that it's, I just have to make sure the calculation's right. You have it right. I just got to make sure that the calculations right. Let's see if we play. Now we got to figure c2. Oh, c2 works. I missed out. It's not king c1. It's king c2. There's a way of mating here. King c2. When he reaches b3, check. Hold on, paste in before c6, b4, c7, b3, check. We actually play king takes b3, king b1, c8 equals queen, a1 equals queen, and then we have queen c2 check, checkmate. So there. c2, b5. I just want to check c6. Yeah, I think that this is right. There we go. c1 didn't allow us to mate. It was this problem here. I'll show you. And then I'm going to we're going to go over one more game. This is a perfect spot to end it right here. So here, oops, move there. Here, kings. This is the reason king c1 doesn't work. I'll show you. He checks, and we can't take. And when we come here, he can actually check. And then now we have to take. When he takes, he shelters our king away. And then when we run up the board, he queens and wins. But the cool thing about the cool thing about this here is that, oops, wrong spot, sorry, a little too high up there, queen, there we go. Here, he has to take at this point. And even if he tries to come back here, we have a mate too, so it's mate no matter what. Alright, we're going to go over a French defense between, let me see, how much time do we have left? I think I have just enough time to go over, wait a second, oops, sorry about that, I got to remember. Do you, 1 second, I'm going to ask, do you guys have any games you want to go over? Do you have any games you want to go over that you recently played and wanted to put into to talk over? Or do you want to see it? Because I have a game that we can go over. It was by eBurge. It's a French defense. We can, but I'm more than willing because I can always pull that one up next time and do that one as our warm up. If you have, if any of you have a game you want to go over. Do you have any games you want to go over? excuse me. Okay, then we'll go over our we'll go over this one then, and then that'll be good. All right. Because I'm more than happy to go over if you have any games, because it's all about learning. Oops, there we go. Come on, what's going on here? Hold on, let me get this. Don't lag them in now. Uh-oh. Hold on, let me get this just right. There we go. I gotta pull it down just a little bit. Okay, perfect. Excuse me. D4, D5, E5, C5. D takes C5. This actually, Ginger talked about this. This move here is playable, but it's really not the best move at all, because you could play C6, knight F3. Bishop takes the pawn is playable here. Yeah, and anytime you guys have one that you want to go over, you can just post it in here, and we can even, if we wanted to take a break in between, tactics, we don't have to do tactics all the way to the end. I'm more than happy to take a break in between a few tactics and go over your games. D3, bishop D3, knight GE7. We're trying to take scope on this pawn here. We can actually do that via queen C7 at a certain point. Bishop F4, queen E6, castles, knight G6, queen our bishop G3, queen takes. Now we're gonna win a rook almost. Almost, because then we can move. Knight takes, and then queen D4. Excuse me. Queen D4 is playable. Actually, they did queen D6 or C6. Rook B3, rook D, and then takes, and then we take, and bishop B5. King E7. I'm thinking this might actually potentially lose two pawns, or a pawn at least. Yeah, we don't want that. We'd lose our pawn back, so we just go up. Rook E1, queen D3. Nothing's more beautiful than attacking with tempo on a pawn. So A6 to remove the bishop. Bishop F1. And now we're going to try to castle by hand. Rook BD6, and we come over. Now we're attacking the rook, so the rook has to move. G6, C4, King F8. Now it's time to say, I think we need a little safe spot. So now we got a safe little house that we can run to if we needed to. We can go to G8 or these 2 points here, and we're safe. Knight B6, Rook A1, Bishop A7, C5, King G8, Rook A, Queen A1, and this is to do one thing: slice and dice our position. E5 though is an interesting move, because if Queen takes E5, I'm thinking that Bishop picks up a rook with a skewer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, takes. I'm thinking in theory we actually potentially, he can actually win. So you can't take, otherwise E-Burge would do that. D4, bishop, knight. Get our last rook in, why not, right? This would, I'd be tempted to have played this, though he does have that, so you have to always be on your guard on that. So, trying to get a passed pawn. Yeah. This would win a piece, but is it is it worth the kind of chaos that potentially could arise from something like this? And then here, yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Hold on, what did I miss? Here, here, takes. Now we're up in exchange. And I think we're equal. Yeah, up in exchange. Now we're up in exchange and a pawn. Now we're attacking his knight, so now we're going for mate. Mate right there. And he resigned here because there's really no way to stop mate. If he tries to run, I guess he could do that. The knight would go here and check, and then checkmate. So isn't that beautiful? He either has a if he doesn't move, and let's say he plays something like this, you have a mate in 1, or you have a beautiful mate and 3, and the knight can't take because of the pin. That's beautiful. Do you have any questions before I log off on the game or anything? And like if you my chess cruncher friends have any games that you would like to go over, bring them, and we'll even go over them beforehand, or we'll go over them midway through our tactics, because we can take a break, and games are a great way to learn. So if you have any games that you're interested in going over, I'll be more than happy to go over them. Excuse me, just it's allergies a little bit. So if you have any, just bring them next time. We'll go over them, and you know what? We'll have fun with chess. That's what chess is all about. So do you have any questions, though? I wanted to throw that out there for you, so that you know that you're more than welcome to bring games. And remember, we never make fun of games. If you made a mistake, we learn from them, okay? Because that's one thing my teacher never did, is when I was first starting out, before I got to where I am now, yeah, the road to GM, we went over a lot of my mistakes, and my teacher never made me feel bad. We always learned, and we used it as an example of improving. And so you don't have to worry. I'm not going to do that for you, so you can feel safe to send the games. But send it via like alliedchess.org, because it's a lot easier to do arrows on alliedchess.org or iccchess.org, or sorry, alliedchess.org, yeah. Any questions before I log off? I'll give you one more minute. 1 minute to go see if you do. Excuse me. Okay, I'll take that as a no. I want to thank you for all logging on. We have to remember we have to. I like starting out. We'll start out with something new. Every long journey begins with one small step. That's Yazoo 1. We become what we think about. That's E. Nightingale. Bruce Lee says, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. He also said this, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. He said another good one that I always like to remember. There are no limits, there are plateaus, and we must not stay there, we must go beyond them. We also have to keep in remembrance what Tom Thumb Thumb said. Treasure your victories and learn from your losses. Remember that mistakes do not define you. It is how you handle the mistake that defines you. And of course, from one of my quotes, don't give up, get up. Like if you fall down, don't give up. As they say, knuckle down and get right back up. We have to also keep in remembrance that the Lord has to be the main center of Chess Cruncher, the channel, and the Chess Cruncher team, because you know what, we get points, and then we can lose them in a moment from a couple learning lessons. So just, you know what, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. In Job it talks about that. So we have to always be wise, take wise counsel. And I know that think about it, the Lord's been around from the beginning. So if he has, he's the wisest of all wise. So we should take counsel on him if you have a problem or something. Well, with that, we want to remember that, you know what, you're more than welcome. We all are all chess crunchers, and remember what we do when most people are playing, are doing other stuff. We're sitting down and we're a chess cruncher, and your friends and your family may ask you, what you doing? You could say, I'm a chess cruncher. And they'll be like, if they already know, they'll go, yeah. But if they don't, you could tell them what a chess cruncher is. We hang up our coat, we hang up our hat, we sit down and study when most won't. We do, and that makes all the difference. And I'll leave you with that. As Wesley So says to the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll keep pushing forward, or keep pushing play. And remember, bring your games. If you like what you see, click follow. Join us on our journey of improvement. And as always, hoorah, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.